Great.
Oh, by the way, okay, so let's start this out because I have gifts for everyone.
Oh my gosh.
I brought you all anxiety rocks.
Oh my God, I forgot to bring mine today.
You forgot. Well, you have one now. Okay, so pick the one that speaks to you the most, please.
Wow.
Travis, thank you.
Thank
and
you.
then Arta. And then you two.
Oh, wow.
So
I was just going to say this healed my decision paralysis, but then.
I love. This is perfect.
I
Have your rocks.
yeah, absolutely.
Now we
That-
know what to do with our hands.
Yeah, there you go. See? And also, I mean, people have described interviews with me as being filled with anxiety because what is she saying now? They always say.
We're going to get along great then, I
Great,
think.
perfect, excellent. Yeah, because I'm just going to lead with the sunburn story. I sense that there's the magnificent sunburn story that's lurking.
Yes. So I used to go to Panama all the time. I have family there, and I first started going in middle school when I was really self-conscious about being pale, and being tan was very in.
That's relatable, yes.
Yes. I see you. And I tried to tan, and I got the worst sunburn of my life at the equator, and it was like a tube top thing, and it lasted for years. And so when we got to Panama, I had sun gear for all the actors, and they were like covered from head to toe, hats, brims to the wazoo.
Now, did that make it absolutely impossible to distinguish everyone? Because it's like if they're covered in hats and long sleeves and everything, it's like, were you sort of like Madison, but it's actually Travis?
They had their unique struts, so I
Okay.
think I can identify them from their movements.
Got it.
But really valid question.
And you seem like you all know each other super well, and it seems like you were super close, so I wanted to ask you as well, who among you would be likeliest to chat up someone on an airplane, like happens in the beginning of the movie? Because you also seem very friendly.
Madison.
Madison.
Oh, hands down. You answered that fast. All right.
Yeah, one time, this is a crazy thing that happened to me once in my life, but I talked to this man during a flight, and at the end of the flight, he handed me $100 bill, and he said, "Thanks for the conversation." And I said, "Okay."
You're a conversation
I'm $100
prostitute.
worth conversationalist. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
So,
amazing.
We'll see how much you kind of cough up at the end of this.
Oh my, don't have my wallet on me, but checks in the mail. And I guess actually we should just tell everybody what the plot of the movie is really quickly because, and I don't know, do you want to take it back there, Arta?
A year after a marriage, a couple goes to Panama for their honeymoon. And, Teresa proposes that we seduce the rental host. So you got to watch the movie to see what happens on Secret Island.
And you have an exceptional, is this a trap face? Which is really what I was identifying with because I was like, what a tricky situation that is when your partner, and I love that as a concept for a movie because it really is a question of like, is this a real thing or are you just setting me up to fail? Which I think it can be applied to a lot of different questions in a relationship. In several different ways. This one just happens to be seducing your rental host. So, way to go, by the way.
I try my best.
So, Panama in general, outside of the sunburn, like it's also kind of a character in the movie, I feel like. And it's so gorgeous, but it really made me, first of all, it made me think I need a vacation. But it also made me think, like, we do crazy stuff when we're not constrained by the day-to-day. And we end up finding out a lot about ourselves, maybe some stuff that we don't want to know. Was Panama always like the setting for this?
Yeah, actually, so Gigi grew up going there.
Yeah.
It's your stepdad's house.
Yeah.
And Gigi was like, I have this place in Panama and we have to shoot there. It's magical. And my favorite part about the place was that it actually thunderstorms every night. So every single night you fall asleep to the sound of a thunderstorm, which was like
nice.
So magical. But this place means, I feel like, the most to you and your family.
Yeah, definitely. Bocas del Toro is like a group of islands, and it's a place where what I love about it is like Panamanians go there to vacation. expats go there to live, foreigners go there for vacation, and locals all hang out at the same bar. The thing about Bocas in particular is a lot of couples go there, they settle down there thinking that they can like restart, and they have a phrase called Bocas Brocas. So a lot of Americans go down there to get away, and they end up divorced.
Really?
Man, Bocas Brocas could have been a great film title.
I know. I know.
Now you tell us.
Now we think of that.
We don't
That
know
would've
what's
been
going to
great.
happen.
Also, the chickens hang out with the cats and the dogs on the island. It's amazing.
I was very into the kitty in this movie.
so cute.
Was that just a moment that happened because there are animals around, or because I was like, ooh, let's spin off for the kitty?
It seems organic. I'm so glad it seemed so organic to the setting. But no, that was we got two kittens from a vet clinic.
Oh.
And they then were adopted afterwards. So we had them for the day, and that was kind of a lovely day on set. Kittens on set and dogs all around.
Perfect.
Great way to shoot.
Yeah, and you're in this gorgeous location. Where did y'all stay when you were done rolling for the day? Was it close quarters? Was everybody kind of a family that way? You're laughing, so.
Yes. We were basically all in my room like teenagers every night, like thinking we were like snickering, going over our lines for the next day, like thinking we were doing something wrong, even though it's like they probably want us to know our lines for the next day. But yeah, we were in conjoined rooms, right? I mean,
yes.
That's always trouble.
We had our own rooms, to be clear, but we would rehearse at night in one of those rooms.
Well, to be fair, I had to go through her room to get to mine.
Yeah.
Oh, it was one of those. What do they call those? There's a name for that. I don't know what it is, but it's
a trap.
Yeah, and we didn't leave set and go home. We were home on set. So
Home on set.
We just stayed there. Yeah.
that might explain just how natural the movie feels, because this is one of the most challenging aspects of my job, is to meet people as they are in real life and not just assume that I already saw you in the movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know you. I know that character, right? But then when I started Googling around, speaking of feeling like you know someone, I found this Star Search video.
Yes.
Which is
Really
good.
I want to see this. No. Yeah.
I know this is off topic, but I want to know a little bit more about being on Star Search back when that was the jam.
Well, from 6 till 10 years old, I was singing and performing in fairs and festivals, and
That's awesome.
down in the South and Louisiana and Texas actually. And I auditioned for Star Search, and I got on the show, and yeah.
Ed McMahon said your name?
Yeah. And gave me 4 stars.
4? There were 4?
That was crazy.
That's awesome. As a little kid, what goes through your mind afterwards? Are you just walking around with a whole new swagger? Speaking of swagger, because it's yeah.
Yeah, I was, until I lost one of the episodes, and then I was heartbroken. But not because I lost, because I had to go home.
Oh.
And home was great too, but being at Orlando, Florida, and MGM and all of the amusement parks and hanging out with all the other kids there, that was awesome. And missing school for
Missing
that.
school.
Yeah.
Missing school's the best.
Yeah.
Now, and what's the most fun fact about you? Because I found no Star Search videos for you.
Yeah, no Star Search videos
None.
for me. Unfortunately. The most fun fact about me?
Yeah. Actually, a video I did find is you kicking some ass.
I love combat action.
And you're really good at it too, because I was like, God, those poor people that she's beating the shit out of.
Thank you.
But it's all fake, I guess.
It was all fake. But I do. So I started taking. Thank you, Travis. I started taking combat and action classes, and then it was just it was so expensive, and it was just not just, but it's choreography. Mm-hmm. It's like a dance, but I was I could just take Brazilian jiu-jitsu and really learn the craft and
That's
actually learn how to fight. Yeah, so I train jiu-jitsu every night.
Every night.
Yeah, and I just got my blue belt.
How easy is it for civilians to learn jiu-jitsu? Is it? I'm asking for myself and not a friend.
No, there's people of all ages that come through the door. And the hardest part really is just getting through the door.
Oh, yeah, like
Yeah.
getting yourself there.
Yeah.
God, that's kind of a big life thing, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Say that again.
Right? And
Getting
and
to the.
you two kind of
Fell for it.
walked right into it. And you two collaborated in kind of creating this, right? So it's like, what's the genesis of this that ended up with everybody hanging out and, you know, having a big extended sleepover in Panama with each other?
The genesis was, well, we had made some sketches together, but then Madison wrote a short called Yes, Daddy, and I directed it, and she starred in it, and that was sort of the origin of the core team. So our editor, Christina O'Sullivan, our director of photography, Ryan Thomas, and Scott Monahan, who has story by credit and helped us develop the character of Drew, who was also in Yes, Daddy. So that was sort of the origin of like, there's something really good here. And I think we kind of were like tapping into something that we're like, we should dig in a little more.
Yeah, we knew we loved working together, and then GG came up with this concept of the plot of I Really Love My Husband, and had this special place, and was like, do you want to go like shoot a movie in Panama? Like, and we can like stay in my stepdad's house. And I was like, well, I have to see if I can like get out of nannying. And Gigi was like, hey, like, why don't you just go ahead and say yeah? And I was like, okay, that's a good point.
Was I that pushy?
No. You were like so graceful,
I hope
as you
so,
always
because
are.
look what it resulted in.
Yeah, but it was just you very clearly mirrored back to me. I think you just slowly repeated what I said back into the phone. You were like, you need to see if you can get out of nannying. And it was like slow enough that I heard it, and I was like, you're right, that would be crazy for me to not do this. And then what happened.
Well, to your credit of sort of like the origins, I thought this was going to be sort of a mumblecore, like very like micro budget, very low budget, just me, Madison, the DP, the sound guy, and then the producer and an actor, and I thought that's what it was going to be, like on a boat in Panama. And it ended up becoming a lot bigger and growing. And our producer, L. Roth Burnett, who was the first person who was outside of the like group we had worked with before that said, yes, let's figure out how to do this, like sort of set us on a path. And then we had to sort of yes and the whole process, and it became so much bigger than what the origin was. And I think it's because we kind of just got jamming on it.
Synergy.
Yeah, yeah.
What is coming next? Because I absolutely want to see everyone's story in this movie after this film. Like, have you guys thought about where everyone ends up?
Cool. Kiki's Lament.
Yes.
Because I think there's it's such a rich opportunity to hear more from everyone. Have you thought about where, like, what happens? I don't want to spoil the end of this movie, but I mean, have you thought about what happens for your character?
Yes, and there are two outcomes that I often go back and forth.
Oh, writer's room.
He learns his lesson.
Yes.
And changes.
I think I learned his lesson too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And changes fundamentally, and with his future choices, or he doesn't, and circles back into similar patterns.
Right.
Yeah, until he learns his lessons.
Yeah, see, this gets really real fast. Like, the movie's such a fun escape in such a gorgeous location, but when you really start thinking about it, it's like, I don't know, man, path of least resistance is pretty appealing for most of us most of the time. So
Right.
who knows? But I also would like to, I want a whole movie about the jewelry that you wear in the movie too.
Oh, thank you. Shout out
Because-
to my mom and dad.
Really?
Yeah,
they
my
made
parents passed these down to me. Yeah.
Are they available anywhere? Like, real talk, I'm not kidding. Like, do they have an Etsy store? Because
I mean, oh, they didn't make them, but
Okay.
they bought them when they first came to New
Awesome.
York. Yeah.
Oh, that's
And then
great. So that's all your real stuff.
Yeah, like this was my dad's bracelet. And just like cut some links off and gave it to me.
I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it shines through, I think, just like everything else in the movie.
Can I chime in about the necklace?
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
So
because I made a note about it.
the like part of the process of just sort of working from the ground up with the characters. When we cast Arta, they were helping us figure out what the costume was, and then you brought up the necklace and also this anklet that I don't think anyone sees, but it was kind of like Paz's spirit anklet.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, spiritually, I'm sure we felt it was there.
yes,
so, yeah.
we knew, and then ultimately we incorporated like things about the necklace into the movie, and it was just a very organic thing. And I love that you brought that to the table.
Thank you for allowing me.
Just, I hope the Anxiety Rocks helped here today, and I just want you to stick around. Let's all go to Panama together.
Come with us.
I'll just be your PA.
Yes. Incredible. We would love.